So, if people can hear me, raise your hand or say hello. Let's just check that the sound works. If you hear the music, if you hear my voice, and if you see actually something also on your screen. Very important. Thank you, Andres. Andres Poveda. Hello, everybody. Okay. This nice little music. Finish. Like you can read. Voice could be louder. Okay. Louder voice. Is it better? Turn up the volume for the mic. Here we go. Better. There's a little bit of lag from the thing I said and from the thing. Voice a bit louder. Oh boy. How about now? The music is loud. No. The mic is not loud enough. That's the difference. Cool. So I'm gonna stop the music now. Hello everybody. The music is too loud and the mic is not high enough. Okay, I'm gonna fix that. 1 second. I'm already at the max here. I'm gonna push like that. Is that good? Better? Micro distortion. Oh boy. Okay, 1 second. Huh? We're gonna get there. Don't worry. Music is too loud compared to the mic. Okay, music's turned down a little bit. Mic too much low end. Nice comment. Mic too much low end. I'm gonna get rid of some low end, as you can see. Maybe I'm gonna put a headphone. Oh wow, okay. The mic is distorting. I'm gonna play quick some music to compare. Okay. That should be good enough. Yeah, I could turn the music down, but that means I will have to turn every channels except the microphone. So we're gonna do without. Anyway, so I read a couple of questions earlier on Facebook, and the most common question that I read was, how do I manage to get a nice kick and bass all together, like a nice low end, and in overall the question talking about the mix down and arrangement. The arrangement, I would say, most importantly, it's your own creativity. You know, arrangement it just depends on your own creativity. So I'm going to show you some really basic club arrangement, but obviously it's on to you really. Creativity is up to you. Technical things, I can show you a couple of things, but the creativity, I'm not inside your brain. Okay, let's see. Compresse la voix. Merci Stéphane. Compresse la voix. J'ai déjà... Ouais, je pourrais la compresser un petit peu. On va compresser la voix. Sorry, I'm speaking French to myself. Let's see if there's actually some vocal compressor in Ableton, which I never do. I never use the mic this way, so this is the first time for me as well. Let's see, generic compressors. This is not gonna work. I know it already. Whatever. Okay. We're gonna have to start somewhere, and obviously, when I make music, I literally start from scratch every time. The only thing I have is a kick drum and a key to trigger sidechains. So let's see. Maybe this one. Don't save. I'm gonna be off for a few seconds. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Roy. There was no sound. Okay, doesn't matter. I was not saying I wasn't saying something very important. I hope the sound is back. Roy Rosenfeld actually called me and hey, there's no sound. So, oh, okay, there's no sound. Is the sound back? Is the sound is back? Oh yeah, yeah. Let me tell you. Tell me that the sound is back. No sound now. No sound now. Ah, there you go. Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry for that. I was just saying by myself on my own that the kick drum I'm using is the kick drum I'm using is the same kick drum on every single track that I do. It's the same kick drum. 99% of my track is this kick drum, right? Okay, where do we start? Let's make a track together, right? Let's do some basic drums because I heard a lot of people asking me how do I do my drums. So I'm gonna try to show you how I do my drums. We're gonna need some sounds, some drum sound would be nice. Okay, we're gonna put some snare somewhere. Let's. You're gonna see my sample collection is really limited. I don't use that much sounds really, and they're all the basics sounds. Also, by the way, I don't know if you can see my mouse here, but I would really appreciate that you ask questions more than saying hi, hello, or LOL, because you know I can't. My computer is on my left where I can read your comments, and the computer in Ableton is right there, so I have to do back and forth. I know it's very complicated to manage both together. Anyway, I'm gonna take off the headphones and start to make a beat, and we take it from there. All right, kick drum, snare. Here we go. I'm gonna just gonna put some random sounds just to make a simple beat. Here we go. Here's a snare. I'm gonna make a loop of that snare. Again, I assume that you know a little bit of Ableton, so you know what's going on. I'm gonna delete that. One very important thing, I'm using this plugin here, right there. What is it is, because I don't have a really specific acoustic treatment in my room, this is sort of EQ that you install it. It's a microphone. It calculates some frequencies, some random shit. You put it at the end of your master channel, and then you will EQ it depending on the acoustic of your room. So you have like the most balanced quality. I don't know. Like it's just an EQ, but I'm gonna have to turn it off. Otherwise, your sound's gonna be funny on the other side. Okay, so we have a snare. Oh, this is so basic, but it's very important to start from where. And after I will show you a finished track of me, and we take it. I'm gonna show you exactly what I did and why I did it. And the most important thing I think is to work with the most simple workflow as possible. Like the less plugins, better sound, like samples, the best samples you can get. But the least processing, I think, is the better, honestly. That goes for channels, that goes for master. Very important that you keep your, like, the most simple as possible, because the more stuff you have to deal with, in the end, it's really complicated to make it sound right. So keep it minimal if you can. I should have said that myself a few years ago. Here we go. Some shaker. So I'm going to show you one trick here, because I hear I hear a lot of people using the same shaker loops everywhere. This is cool, but this is a little bit this is a little bit too easy. Sorry, I was on solo. I just learned I can't put solo. Yeah, it's very easy to use loop, but in the end, you lose some creativity. You lose your own touch, you know. And the thing is, with sample pack, they're really processed. You know, they're really processed, and therefore they can be harsh, like super high frequencies and stuff like that. So it's not ideal. It's easy, but it's not the best. Okay, dropping here shakers. Ah, okay, some shaker, simple shaker. So this is the lazy way, I would say. But what you could do is you duplicate this. Oh, solo again. You duplicate this. If I can't do solo, it's going to be difficult. And to make it sound like warmer, more crunchy and sort of analogish something, there's a really nice plugin in Ableton called Erosion that adds some really nice, how could I say that? A nice warm texture on the sound. So it does like that. Instantly it's like more muddy, but if you layer this with the original, instead of that really thin shaker, with that layer, it's like warmerish, sort of, right? Crispy top end, but yeah, crispy. So yeah, it's really difficult to look at your question if you have any. But yeah, so I do that a lot. Why I do that? Because yeah, again, I think like the sample pack, they have their own like really crystal clear sounding, and I think it's really important to yeah, make it like warmer, I guess, and more full. Also, doing these kind of things make your sound fuller as well. Don't worry, and the sound. Don't worry, the sound's gonna be better in a bit. But now we're going through really basic stuff. So if you look over here where my mouse is, there's this really useful tool. There's the beat mode and everything. I only use the beat mode or the repitch and complex pro in general. But for beats and drums element, obviously you're gonna use the beats one. And there's a trick here, very interesting, that makes your sound more snappy. If originally you were here, I don't really know what it does really, but if you choose this option, the first arrow, you will be able with this to make your loop or sounds in general more shorter. For example, the shaker sound like that. And now it's way more snappier. So if I do the same with the other one up there, I have sounds like that are now like shorter and more snappier, which makes the things a little bit more funky in a way. So that's a way to make your drum loops. If your sound are a little bit too full and too much sounds everywhere, you can shorten every transient and make the whole loop like a lot shorter. So I'm gonna use this on a pretty shitty loop. I'm sure I can find that somewhere. Let's see. Vengeance loop. They're so bad. Okay. Okay. Here's a really bad loop. Okay, that's a really bad loop. But let's make it nicer and more interesting using that technique. Here, I go there. There you go. instant instant house beat instead of a terrible I don't know, techno beat. I don't know what was it. Let's see here. What something. Sorry, gotta go. Okay, just want to mute these guys. Okay. Okay. Hopla. Magic. I love this trick. Okay, so I love this thing, and we have a little simple house beat right now with the kick drum. Pretty ugly, but that's the start, you know, getting there slowly but surely. Okay. So, what is that key channel doing here up there actually? Because you can't hear it, you know. I'm gonna just put this here. Okay, you can't really hear what it does. I'm gonna mute everything but my voice. It's a trigger for your sidechains. Now you can hear it. It sounds like that. It's just one really, really short click that's gonna trigger your sidechains. So it's on the same kick, obviously. So it's on the kick, but I'm gonna mute it. I'm gonna sidechain this. So for that, I'll put a nice little compressor. Well, actually, let's use a normal compressor so you can have the same setup settings at home if you do that. Sidechain on, the input from my key. And let's sidechain the shit out of this. Okay, that's pretty extreme. But that's not how we do, but this is sidechain, but okay. I'm gonna use my preset, which is better. Sidechain, input, there we go. It's such a horrible beat, I'm sorry. But yeah, you got the idea. Okay, the bass line. We're gonna make a quick bass line. Why the sidechain do to the key instead of to the kick? That's a good question. Because how can I say that? Why? Because the kick at some point the kick is gonna be on or off in your track. Your kick is gonna be is gonna go away. Literally, you're not gonna have a kick all the time. What if I want to have sidechain all the time, even if there is no kick? In breaks, personally, I most of the time switch off the sidechains in breaks, but I know a lot of people keep the sidechain so it keeps pumping in the break. But I don't do that. I don't like the effect of it. Why not the kick? Because I'm flexible with my non-stop. I can use automation. How much dry wet and of the sidechain I want in a certain part of the track. So that's why I keep that key, like I call it the key, on the whole track. Okay, I'm gonna open a halfway track. It's gonna be a lot easier for you to know what I mean with bass, because I do a very specific thing with bass. You're gonna see that. Yeah, EQing, panning. I'm gonna go it. Also, one thing that I must add. I use 99% of only Ableton plugins, which means that if I make track EQ, compressors, delay, reverb, anything is mostly only Ableton. Like there's not much in my plugin folder. As you can see, there's not so many things. There's Fab Filter that I use just for the limiter on the master, which I will come later. Arturia for the synths. For me, it's a must because when you have Arturia, you can cover a lot of things. And that's pretty much it. A couple of UAD, which I use on the master as well. But honestly, it's very simple, and I don't like to overload my master channel. Right, let's see. I was working on that. I'm going to switch off the sound for like 1 minute. Okay, I am back. I think the sound is right. Yeah, I do have a Dada Life plugin. That's true. It's a plugin that I use. The Dada Life plugin, yeah. The sausage fattener. It's a plugin that I use on mostly on hi-hats, because hi-hats sometimes there's a lack of high frequencies, or if I want it to sparkle a little bit more or like more brightness, I will put a Dada Life sausage fattener, which is a really interesting plugin, but not today. Okay, let's play this. Okay, do you hear the track? I want to know if you hear the full track. The loop. Okay, we're in business. Sorry, there's at least 20-second lag between when I ask questions and when I see your answers. We can hear the track. Thank you very much. Perfect. Okay. So this is something I'm working on right now. It's totally unfinished. This is why you you can listen to it right now. Funny enough, this is the first work I'm using a new kick, because it was a bet that I did with Roy Rosenfeld. I told him, okay, I'm going to do a track with a new kick. So this one has a kick that I never use. But anyway, I'm going to work with that one. What I did here, okay, I'm going to mute a couple of channels. I'm going to mute the, I'm going to mute the kick, the melody, the drums. I'm going to keep the hi-hats. I'm going to mute the more drums. And what else do we have? Here we go. See, that's the shaker trick I showed earlier. I just did it again here. Originally, the shaker was like that. And you can see clearly that it's a super process shaker loop from the, I don't know who did that. But there's very little frequency at the end, and which means that it's very thin. It's very like very empty in a way. So I duplicate that here on another channel and did what I said earlier to add more body to a shaker, right? I'm gonna take that off. Okay. So the shaker thing, the kick drum, and bass line. Every time I put a solo, I don't think you can hear me, which is fairly annoying. Yeah, I'm coughing, but I don't have the virus. So how do the bass line? The bass line is very easy. You know, like, you probably know how to do a bass line. What I want to show you is why I, well, first of all, it's an audio bassline that I did. I deleted the MIDI file. what I always do with bassline is I have the sound of the bassline, and then I layer a sine wave that plays the same melody because bassline it's a little bit uncontrollable sound. When it goes really low, you have some really nasty frequencies, and it's really difficult to control. And I like to be able to control the bass line and the kick drum at the same time, so there's no like conflict together. So I'm gonna have to replay that bass line and create a MIDI file. Here we go. I'm gonna bring a sub sound, which is just a sine wave sub. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna play the exact same sound. Here we go. Okay, that's very basic, but you will understand why I'm doing this. Gonna quantize that on the grid. Oh, I missed the first note here. I'm gonna loop that. Here we go, it's looping. So obviously this is way too high. I'm gonna lower that 1 octave. No, I don't always turn the bass line into audio. This is a mistake I did last night. Doesn't matter. Okay, do we have a bass line? It's just a sine wave, so it's pretty basic sine. Right, there's nothing really special. Just I want from this is the frequency, the low end of this. So I'm gonna have the sidechain the shit out of that thing, because otherwise the kick and the bass, they're not gonna be happy together. So I'm gonna open my little sidechain tool. Here we go. And gonna be triggered by the key, which is always there. Here we go. And I'm gonna sidechain really a lot, so the key has his own space. So now that I have that, I can get rid of the sub-frequency of the original bass. So I have full control on this channel, on the overall sound, but the bass, but the sub. And on that sub channel, which I'm going to make it black, because always black, very important, being organized. I can have control only on the sub with the volume. So I can, if I want to have the bass sound louder, but the sub a bit lower, or I can manage that by having these two separate things. Off. So this way, I still have the character of the original bass, but I have control of the sub on this channel, the volume, the sidechain, exactly. I don't know if that's very clear. I don't know if that's very clear. But what I mean by that is, you could use, there's a thing in a sidechain when you can actually sidechain which frequencies of your thing. But I think it's way too complicated, and just get rid of the bass here of your original bass line, and have some bass line, just a pure, clean sine wave that you can control everything. And now I'm just going to remove a little bit of sub of it, otherwise too much. This wave, if that was the original sub from the original bass, is not as nice, not as precise. Right. The click is on in a live, now it's off. Thanks you to my wife. Sorry guys. Yeah. Okay, it's gone now. Much better without it. Okay, time for the drum part. I'm going to give you a nice trick here. For the drums, what I did is I use only samples, not a loop, just samples. I'm gonna mute everything. I don't need that. I don't need the sub. I just kick the kick maybe. Here we go. Very basic, super basic drums. But what I did, okay, now you heard it a lot, okay? What I did is I duplicate, you can see it's there's a copy here of that thing. I duplicate it. It's the same here, but it has some sort of resonancy thing because I use Corpus. Corpus is a really funky plugin from Ableton, which can do a lot of things, put everything in Corpus and everything sounds weird and interesting. Without it, it's like that, just like the other one. And then you put Corpus in it. There we go. There's some nice little string sounding. You can drum it that way. And frequency shifter, it's something that I use a lot because I duplicate a lot of channels, you know. Because you make your sound a bit wider or thicker in a way. The more sound you have, obviously the richer your sound. But the more sound you have, the harder it is to mix down in the end. So you have to find the balance. But here's, I use it as a creative way. So I duplicate this drum part and using that frequency shifter. And it's doing some sort of, almost like the drums go through a tube. So if I layer that with original drums, of course I tune, you can tune. Huh? Well, I tune it on the same key, I do that by ear, I tune it on the same key as the bass line and the melody. Which means like, he adds something to the beat. If he wasn't there, it would be the same. It wouldn't be the same. Okay, I'm gonna read a bit of your question. Okay, you got the idea. So we talk about melodies a little bit, how I make melodies. I have to mute everything because I can't solo. I could, but I have to reroute stuff there and there. It's annoying. I'm going to switch off everything but the sound itself. Originally, there was a tom. It was just like a tom. Let's see. Exactly. It's just like a tom, really. But I made it as a melody because you can any sound can be melody if you use it the right way, if you tune it. So just a tom, you know, it's also a sound. Perfect. It's nice. Put a bit of delay. You know, delay is your best friend. It makes things nice. So again, I did duplicate that channel here with another sound, but this time it's pitched higher with another drum sound. Again, that's just like a tom, but that I just use as a note. Here we go, together. So this is one of my favorite things to do. I use a lot of drums to make actually melody out of it. It's always nice and plucky, and you can make a very fast little plucky melody. Always put a little delay, a reverb. I'm not going to do presets of delay because you know, you can just drop a delay and see if it sounds nice to you. But this is something that I do a lot of time. There's also one thing about the reverb in Ableton. They sound pretty bad, to be honest. But there's a way to make it sound really nice. That's why it's called here nice reverb, is to put a compressor after. This way you, how can I say that? The best thing to do is actually to put some sound in it, such as this. If I didn't put the compressor, it would sound like that. You can almost don't hear it. It's just weird. Like, I don't know. Oh, but you can't hear it because there's no... But if I put the compressor, it makes it more longer, more lush. It's kind of make it, I don't know. Put a compressor, just copy that preset. It's nice. Okay, so we're gonna go to the fun part. 1 second, I'm changing the project. Because a lot of people ask me, how do I process the vocals, such as Lanarka and Menabel. I'm not going to show you the original samples, but I'm going to show you a really interesting technique to process sounds and get some similar results. I did that last night. Once again, I'm going to be off for 1 minute again. Do you hear me? Yes, you do hear me. I'm sure you do hear me. That's this recording here is just one modular jam that I did. So there's no beat, there's no nothing. It's just absolutely random melodies that I did on my modular system that you can maybe see behind me somewhere. Nebula test, yeah. I did that with a module that's a granular synthesizer. Boy, it's a little bit complicated, but this is how it sounds. Without the reverb, it's better. No, I don't use, oh, sorry. No, I don't use the session view, never. I don't even know how that works. I do know how it works, but I think it's easier this way. Okay, so is it just like some nice little cute melodies, random, and you just yeah, for it goes on forever like this. What I did last night is I opened a MIDI channel, and I took that part over there, the last beat of the track, this part here. I took it and I drag it in the MIDI over there. Here we go. I'm dragging it. Here we go. So this way I'm able to. This way I'm able to play that part of the original sample, just like if it was a synthesizer. And I came up with this little melody, which is like that. Again, there's a little bit of reverb on it and some delay and stuff like that. But this is literally the same sound in a lower, right? So you can make nice melody with just existing samples, such as this one. I could have taken another part, but I just took the end of it. So far, so good. But what can you do more than with this technique using pre-existing sounds, but using as an instrument, just like I did with the tom earlier. I make melody out of tom, but you can make a lot of things out of anything, such as this hi-hat. This is not a hi-hat. And you sure you want to know how I did a hi-hat, right? Okay, I'm gonna, this is gonna be controversial. This is a speech from Donald Trump. So I'll let you hear it.
Democrats are politicizing the coronavirus.
Oh God, here we go, the coronavirus. So,
oh, not good, not good.
Oh, not good, not good. No, it's not good, man. So I just look for a part where he's actually doing some sibilance.
Politicizing.
Let's see this, maybe. Hey, that could be a nice hi-hat. I'm gonna cut that part and make it a nice hi-hat. Thank you, Donald. Thank you, Donald, for your help on this tutorial. Okay. Oh, here we go. Hi-hat made by a Donald Trump. Here we go. Oh, nice. That's a nice hi-hat, right? Thank you, Donald.
They have no clue. They don't have any clue. They can't even count their votes.
There we go. So that was a hi-hat I made last night. Anyway, yeah, copyright, yeah. So what I did with the same Donald Trump speech, I'm going to delete that hi-hat. I took another part somewhere, and I don't know, maybe
Politicizing.
whatever, any part, and I put it in my sampler again. I'm going to delete this. Okay, this is Donald Trump, right? I don't know what he's saying. Somewhere like, I don't know. But anyway, Donald Trump is gonna turn himself into a really nice synthesizer. Hey, Donald, you sound so much nicer now. So I came up with that really nice melody with Donald vocals. And if I layer with the melody earlier, pretty nice. Donald hit. Yeah, it is a hit. We need a bass line for this though. It would be nice with a bass line. So I already made a bass line, of course. But I'm gonna make it live for you because if it's already done, it's not fun. So let's create a MIDI file. Here we go. I'm gonna loop that. It's totally empty. There's no bass line yet. The sound is from Arteria Moog. Right? Pretty basic. Okay, we are back. Hey, Patrick. Hello. I don't know why it crashed. Let's see if actually people you can hear me. I'm just double checking with you guys. It actually crashed, I think, because my computer is not strong enough to handle the streaming. And when I opened the Arturia plugin, it didn't like it. So yeah, I'm gonna get to the vocals. Yeah, don't worry, it's coming. Anyway, bass line. Let's make a bass line. If you don't know how to make bass line, here's the technique to make a nice bass line in an easy way. Okay, you take this. Here's your very, very basic bass line. You can hear me, right? Just to double check with you. Okay, you can hear me. It's very loud. From now on, you can do anything. You can do a nice pattern. Let's say you want to make it funky because I like stuff a little bit funky. So I'm gonna delete a couple of stuff randomly. I don't know what I'm doing. Right? I'm gonna this one. This one can go. All right. This. Okay. All right, whatever. Let's say. There you go. It's already a lot more funky. Let's add some different notes. I don't know what I do. I just do by ears, right? That's for a bass line. It's very, it's a fast way. When you don't know how to play bass line, just do a straight line like that, delete a few notes, change the notes, and then you have it. Oh, really? I'm going to change the last notes here. The last part, I'm going to make it different. Okay. Woo! Movements. Nice. Just the way I like it. There's a little bit of delay on the bass line. I can put it down also. I'm going to put Donald Trump back. Okay, I'm going to add a kick drum. I'm going to use my usual kick drum, which should be pretty much in any project that I ever did. Oh, I'm going to add my key also for the sidechain later. Might be a good idea. Kick drum. Where's my kick? Where is it? 1 second. Of course. Okay, collision. It should be. Where is my kick? Ah, here we go. There you go. Where are you hiding? Here we go. Friendly kick. So the same kick. I repeat. This is the set. Yeah, I do swing notes. I can do that later, but not always. This is quick learning. Kick drum. Okay, so this is a very crucial part. When you want to do a track that sounds really good, the most important is your kick and your bass line sound fucking tight, really tight. So I'm going to focus right now on the kick and the bass only. And I'm going to do the same thing as I did earlier with the sub because I have full control of my bass, which I duplicate my bass, but I remove arteria and I put my sub sine wave. Where is my sub sine wave? Sub sine wave. Here we go. There you go. Now we should have. Ooh, it's really high. Let's lower that. So there you have it. You have just a bass line, just a sub, and that's exactly what I need. Just a sub. But I'm gonna sidechain, a little bit of EQ. Sidechain. Here we go. 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 Put the sidechain here. Sidechain by the key. So you can probably hear some click. There's no way to get rid of that. Really, I didn't find a way except put an EQ. Since we don't want high frequency, only the low end, doesn't matter. So I just put that here, and we don't have no click anymore. Okay. I'm gonna put this back and an EQ there to get rid of the bass of the bass. Doesn't make sense, but yeah. There we go. as you can see, there's no sidechain on the original bass. That means that if I want to keep the original sound, but sidechain the sub, I can do it with this technique, which is happening right now. Now it's time for the vocal of Donald Trump to bomb back in. But it's a little bit too simple. So let's use the now super famous Lanarka technique. So everybody take notes because you're gonna find out how I did it, although it's not very difficult and it was pure accident. What I did is on the original vocals of Lanarka, which you can't hear it because this is Donald Trump. This is gate, you know, I put a gate triggered by just like the key trigger sidechains. I do another key that will trigger the gate. So I'm gonna, because I'm lazy, I might use the same that I use in my Archangel remix. Right, there you go. So the key sounds like that. Right? This is just a little click. I'm gonna turn this off, quiet, right? And now back to Donald Trump. Singing, here we go, he sings like that. But if I trigger the gate with the key that I just entered, Donald Trump's gonna sound like that now. There's a little bit of delay. You had that sort of, yeah, Lanarka was the same. I just had a couple of different vocals that I cut, pitched down, up, and then I gated the whole thing with a different pattern than this one. And this is how you got the really very specific. Of course, there's a lot of treatment on the vocal, like phasers, reverb, delay. But this is pretty much how I did it. I just gated the whole vocal part with a trigger. One thing that I do a lot also is I map some of the buttons with my keyboard with a Command K, and then this way I can mute. Let's say I want to remove the kick and the bass line with one button. Now it's mapped with my keyboard, so I can do some live thing like that. So I have an idea how it sounds with and without muting with my mouse. Let's put Donald Trump's hi-hat back. Changing bassline. Of course, I need to duplicate that one too. Let's see. Okay, so you have now the secret of how to make nice gated vocals. And moving on with a track that is completely finished this time. So I'm going to be back in 1 minute. I'm back. Sorry, I have to do that every time I change project. You should hear me. That track is Secret. It's from my last EP, so it's fully finished this time. So there's no random. There's no random, and you can see my master channel in a bit. Okay, so if you don't know that track, it's out already, so you can check it out later. It's called Secret. The synth was the Sub 37, which is here. My favorite synth, definitely my favorite synth, with the Prophet 6, so that's why they're both here. I don't count my modular system as my favorite synth because it's unfair for the other synths. So the Sub 37 is amazing for leads and bass, pretty much, because it's a monophonic, paraphonic, but it's very good at bass and leads. Really, it has a very specific sound, so a lot of people use it. A lot of people use it, unfortunately, a little bit too much like Stefan Bodzin, because Stefan Bodzin is definitely the guy who is responsible of 100% of the sales of that synthesizer in the world. I'm joking, but you can easily do Stefan Bodzin with that synth, and it would be a big mistake to buy that synth just to do this, because you can do so much more than that. You can do really pretty melodies, really pretty leads, and that's actually the case in that track. Beautiful. So this synth, this line is a Sub 37. So you can definitely do like beautiful stuff with it. So this is a completely finished track. I'm going to show you my master channel on this. Oh, very interesting. Here's the EQ from Fat Filter, which this is probably the only time in my life I use it. So it's unfortunate. It's very good EQ, but I'm so used to the EQ from Ableton. So I could just do exactly the same thing. I just remove a little bit of high hands. I don't even know why, but I did it, which I did push a little bit of low, which I always do. Okay. So you can go. Then after we have Manly EQ, which I boost always the sub this you can. It's not because I do this that you should do this. It just depends on your sound. You know, it depends on yeah, your track. If it's techno, if it's house, if you want it's really subby, da da da. But in this case, and most of the time in my track, I boost the high frequencies around 8, 10K, and the sub around 68, sometimes 82. This is 80 is around where 80 is where the punch is most of the time. But okay, and then after there's a utility just for volume control and a fat filter for the limiter. And as you can see, that's pretty much it. There's no crazy, I don't know, there's no crazy VST that space out your sound and make it wider and more harmonics and stuff like that. All my masters are extremely simple because the mix down is already good enough. Then after, I just need to put a little bit of EQ there and a limiting, and that's it. And you should do the same. I mean, you do whatever you want, but I think that's the more simple you work, the better result you get. So, people ask me how do arrangement. It just depends. You want to make a club track? So if you want to make a club track, just make the beginning some drums so the DJ can mix it. The drums at the end so he can mix it with a neck track, and then we'll make 1 break, 2 break. I mean, arrangement is very simple. You have a loop, and then you drag stuff, and then you mute parts. I mean, people asking me question about arrangement is a little bit strange because it's the most annoying part because it's a bit boring to do. Because the most exciting part is the creation and make a nice loop, and then the arrangement is really annoying. But in the end, when you have like a routine, it's very easy to just it's very easy to make a track. Really, you just drag stuff, the kick first or no kick, then the bass line comes in, then hi hats. So it's fairly easy to make a yeah. I don't know. Apart from that, little nice pretty synths. There's more sounds such as bells and toms in the background. Where is it? Here we go. Centric as earlier is just the tom, but I made melody out of the tom. Where is that synthesizer? Here we go. Just the tom. And again, some toms for the bass line this time. And again, the same trick that I tell from the beginning, I'm using just a sine wave to make the bass line. This way I have full control over the sub and the kick. And of course it follows the melody, obviously. Also, some people ask me about some build-up, drops, break. Well, I would say it's the same thing as an arrangement. It's just you depends what you want to do, really. If you want to make like a huge drop, then you're gonna have a lot of like build-up, tension, and reverb, and snare drums, and white noise, and the most noisy as you can. But in this track, it wasn't necessary because it's not the point of the track. The track is more based on the emotion and the melody. So I didn't make crazy build-up. I did one, but it's not like insanely stupid. there isn't much going on. Like it's just like some crash, reverb, and yeah, that's it. Just like you would do in a DJ set if you DJ, you play your tracks and you want to exaggerate a little bit the end of it. I do the same here. I just like exaggerate the reverb and then delay it with some volume automation. But that's it. Really, it's really simple. You have to sing honestly when you make music. You have to sing simple and effective rather than like unless you're doing some really complex experimental stuff. But here we're focusing on dance music tracks, on house stuff, and house stuff is just make two people dance, no matter the style. If you do tech house or deep house, you just want to have a nice bass. That sounds right. That sounds good. So keep it simple, really. I have some strings there. You can then talk about the strings maybe. Mute everything. Here we go again. Mute the kick. Meanwhile, I'm going to read your questions. Yeah, the kick is a sample that I have for about 10 years. But over the years, I changed the processing. Back then, it was purely like that. And then the more I evolved, the more I changed EQ, the processing. And now my kick has a little, it has an EQ here. I removed some low frequencies for some reason. I compress it. And then after I EQ a little bit again. Again, this cello is all Ableton sounds. It's not like any plugin from a native instrument or stuff like that. It's just I make the melodies and I do a lot of automation on volume. This goes up and down. How it's vibration, vibrato, but there's a sidechain somewhere. Yeah. Some filter. So the volume in general, I keep the stuff. I'm going to switch to this view, which I never use, but so you can see there's nothing, I think, yeah, nothing picking in the red when I play the music, like zero. It's very important that you keep things pretty low so you're not clipping anywhere. You're not clipping on your master. You're not clipping anywhere. It's very important. As you can see, there's no whatsoever clipping anywhere. Very important. Keep your level low, at least in the beginning of your track. Let's say maybe minus 10 dB, like around here. Oh, here we go. Minus 10 dB, like that. Then after you can the gain staging is really important, so you can adjust way later what's going to be louder and lower, but never in the red. Because if you're in the red, it's going to sound like shit, and it's not what you want. You want to sound clean. If I have a mix down process that I follow, not really. Everything I do by ear, because from what I said in the beginning, I do absolutely everything from scratch except my kick drum and my key. So everything that I add on top is I do by key, but I follow the very basic rules. Levels, not too loud, keep it minus 10 dB to start, your channel minus 10 dBs, and then nice EQ, basic EQ really, like just remove some bass where there's no need bass. It's mostly on everything, to be honest, except the bass and the kick. So yeah, let's see, your final master from this project. Yeah, my masters, I have a funny story about that. My last EP on All Day I Dream that was out last month, we sent it to the mastering, which means what I send is the my master. What I send is I remove the. I send this without the limiter, pretty much, and you will be like, why would you send that? Because I think that your master channel is part of your sound, is part of your identity. And I don't want the master engineer to start fucking up with EQ and compressor because it's not going to sound the same. It's not going to sound like you, you know. I want the track to sound like me. So I just give the mastering guy my master channel without the limiter. I just lower the volume, and then you have it. Because the limiting thing is something that I'm not comfortable with. I just put a limiter and then just like crank it until it's okay, like the balance with loudness and punch remains good. But I believe that mastering engineer, they will do a way better job. They should do a way better job. Anyway, that EP that I sent to All Day I Dream, they did well, I mean, I shouldn't say that live, but there was absolutely disaster. It was not my mastering engineer that I always ask for, so it doesn't matter. So in the end, the master that you get on Beatport or Spotify, whatever, this is my master. This is my mastering. This is my mastering channel. Because, yeah, the mastering was really bad, and I was like, no way this guy's going to do again, so I'm going to just give you my master, which sounds really good already anyways. Just like I played them millions of times. It sounds really good. So, anyway. What else? So it's really difficult for me to read. There's so many questions, and it's on the left. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you a little trick, a funny trick that I do quite a lot on hi-hats, because sometimes I'm going to mute everything, but keep, let's say, a few hi-hats, remove the drums, remove the music, the strings off. What do we have now? Okay, maybe get rid of, where is that thing coming out? That. Okay, we just have a hi-hat loop. This is a trick that I use a lot. When you have static sound and you want your hi-hats to have a little bit more movement, I create a send return. There we go. And I put a vocoder on it. Where's the vocoder? Here we are, a little vocoder. So now when you send your hi-hats in the vocoder, sounds like that. Okay. Maybe I'm going to use this one instead. Or this. No. Yeah, okay, go for that. The one before was nicer. Like that. This way, with the vocoder, I can make hi-hats longer. Or make a build-up like this too. like that. You have a nice little hi-hat tricks. And if you want to do that, another trick that I learned from the modular, you can use an LFO to do that for you because you want to make it randomly. So you take from Max for Live. That's the only thing I use from Max for Live is the LFO. There we go. I drop an LFO. I'm going to map that release button. And now it's going to do it for me. You can see it's going a little bit crazy. But I'm going to choose the random function. Let's see how it sounds like. It's not too bad, but it's a little bit too much. So you can actually adjust how far the release will go and how fast. There you go. Yeah, a little trick that I use, but it works. You know, you can make a lot of things with LFO. Like you can move anything, a filter, pitch, whatever. You know, it's like modular. You can modulate pretty much anything, anytime, randomly or not randomly. You can use a sine wave, so it's going to be like more regular. Like it's going a little bit crazy, but always. Yeah, she's a little trick for you. But it makes things more alive, you know. And where do we go from now on? Okay, I'm going to read a bit of your questions again. Let's see if someone asks me something smart. Let's see. I'm going up. Plugin are using 4 strings. The plugin are using 4 strings are all Ableton. That's it. Most of my synths are all outboard, like the Sub 37, the Prophet, modular synthesizer over there, and Arturia. And that's pretty much it. You know, I don't want to spend money on plugin. No, it's not like spending money on plugin. It's just like I just feel comfortable with the real machine rather than the mouse. But it's just a matter of taste. Could you give you a couple of advice? Hello, Philip. Could you give you a couple of advices to the really newbies guys who would love to start? What is the most important and principal things which is worth to keep in mind? I said that since the beginning. Keep it simple as possible. I know it looks a little bit complicated when it's like a finished project, you know, with the full thing, but the way I work is actually extremely simple. Like I try to keep things extremely simple in the technical part, because the creativity is something else. Creativity, you like I showed earlier, you can go crazy stuff with Donald Trump speech or whatever. You can do so many things, especially with Ableton, which is really an amazing software to manipulate audio. But on the technical side, keep things simple. Use one kick drum that you're comfortable with. When it sounds good, why changing? I'm really serious here. Why you want to change your kick drum? A kick drum is a kick drum. Don't try to tune it. Like, why you want to kick? Do you think that Quincy Jones, when he made a Thriller, Michael Jackson Thriller with a lean drum, do you think he was tuning his kick drum? You can't tune a kick drum on the lean drum, on the drum machine back then. You couldn't tune it. You think it wouldn't? Doesn't matter. So don't bother. You have a kick drum that works for you, sounds great. Just keep it. Maybe another one to add variety, but honestly, kick drum when you're in a club, who is gonna tell you, oh, this is the same kick drum as the track before? Nobody came to me say that. So yeah. Okay. So anyway, keep things very simple. Good samples. And good sounds, good sound quality, and then you have like 50% job done. Average amount of track in a given project of yours. Oh, you don't want to know. I have like millions of track unfinished. It's crazy. Favorite scale? I don't use scales. I just do by ears, so I have no idea. What about mid-side EQ? I never use mid-side EQ I don't use multi-band compressors. Again, for me, this is overly processing and way too complicated. Honestly, you don't need that. There were no mid-side EQ back in the 80s, or I don't know. Well, maybe there was, but just keep things simple. Mid-side EQ. It's risky also, this sort of techniques. You might have some like phase cancellation. It's I wouldn't advise to go in that territory if you don't know what to do. Maybe it's good for mastering. I don't know. Mid-side EQ, no. E major, channel, like everything that spreads your sound wider. I don't use any of this. Few reasons, because when you do that, you push the sound further where it's supposed to go. And when you put your track in mono, then all the thing that you've been like focusing, make it so wide, is actually gonna disappear. So it's gonna be great as a, if you wear a headphone, you're gonna be like, wow, this is so large and so wide. But if you play in a club, the chances are that maybe some of these sounds will disappear. If you have a mono monitor, or even the club might be mono. Hopefully they're not too mono anymore, but there's still some, I wouldn't advise this stuff like that. Okay, so guys said you can tune the kick of the Lindrum. Okay, whatever. You can tune the kick of the 909, it's true. But I don't think they really bother, honestly. Like, don't tune your fucking kick, man. Waste of time. It's you tune your kick, then it's gonna be boomy or too high. I don't even know what keys my kick. I don't care. Why don't you export in audio stem to mix? No, I don't see the reason why I would do that. I'd rather have like every single channel that I have full control than stems. So I wouldn't do that. Can't write you what advice for people who can't write and plays melody. I can't play melody. I'm serious. I just can't play piano. I'm shit at it. All I do is editing. Sometimes I just play just the pattern with one note, and then I edit, just like I did with the bassline earlier. Just do a pattern, edit notes. I have a musical ear trained, so I know what will sound right, the harmonies and stuff. But just, yeah, I don't know, man. It's a little bit tricky question. How you play melody and scale? Okay, maybe I should. Okay, I'm gonna try. There's a lot of scale question and melodies question. I'm gonna do a quick melody from scratch. Maybe it's gonna sound shit. Maybe it's gonna sound amazing, and I'm gonna keep it for later. Where is my streaming thing? Here we go. I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, let's see. Here we go. This is good. Like that. Here we go. Everybody can hear me. My usual kick drum. Melodies. I'm creating a MIDI file, and I'm gonna use, let's say, the Prophet. Where is my synths? Prophet 6. Okay, you're gonna hear my. I don't know if the All Day I Dream party is canceled or not. I'm gonna make a melody, and like I told you, I can't play the keys at all. But let's try to make something nice from something horribly bad at first. No, I'm joking. Okay, see that? It sounds like shit. Let's make this sound nice. I did absolutely nothing good. I'm going to quantize that. Okay, what do we have? Well, Random, not too bad for beginning. Ah, could work with that. Let's see. Okay, this is like, this is not good. Yeah, I can work with that as a start. Ooh, there's one. No. Yeah. Yeah, I can start with something like that. Yeah. Let's put a delay just to make things moving a little bit. Okay, yeah, like make some things a little bit more interesting in between. Yeah, here we go. This is how I start melodies. You just play random shit and edit it, fix it, you know, and then you can eventually, I'm going to make it a bit higher. I don't know. Okay, that was a quick example how to make. But let's make something more very simple. I'm gonna just get rid of the delay. Delete that. Make a new one. Double click. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna make something more simple, and because if you go too crazy on melodies, let's see. Randomly, by ears again. This is when you have done sequencer, you can do that. Ooh, maybe here. Okay, that's too short. Make it longer. Well, it's a bit cheesy, but sounds like progressive. Yeah. So that's the point. Okay. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, me too. If I was making a melody like that, I will instantly stop. But it's a start, you know. No, so, but even the best, they don't really succeed. That one was nice. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yeah. Okay, so what else do we have? The difference between hardware Moog and software Moog. I don't know. There's no difference. They're good. Both good. One is expensive. One is cheap. That's the difference. Let's see. Favorite sample pack. I don't have every favorite sample pack. I do have the same sample for the last 10 years. I just don't buy samples. Yeah, I know. I'm a bit. Let's see. What happened to the BB Sonic Maximizer? Gone. Okay. Okay, I'm going to ask you one question. Except from Lanarka, because you won't have it. Which project would you like me to open? Do you start mixing in a creative process? I do start mixing in the creative process. Yes. I do everything at the same time. Naive. Lost Miracle. Why not? Lost Miracle, Lost Miracle, Lost Miracle. Ashes in the Wind, Ashes in the Wind, and Lost Miracle. So it's going to be either Lost Miracle or Ashes in the Wind. Lost Miracle, Rocket Tuli, Crème, yeah. Yeah, Roy. Sure, I can open Crème, no problem. Maybe I'm going to ask Roy to send me, to decide for me. Roy, can you actually send me a message? And tell me which one do you want? Dans the Scorpion, Ashes in the Wind. It's all about Ashes. Was this not a bad idea? Ashes in the Wind, Ashes in the Wind. I guess this is gonna be Ashes in the Wind. Since it's the... No, you're not the only one asking for Sablier. Okay. Ashes in the Wind. Let me find the project. Where is it? Because I did it quite a long time ago. I did last year. Ashes in the Wind. Yeah. Yes, I have it here. Okay, I'll be back in 1 minute again. Okay, here we go again. Ashes in the Wind. It's very loud. Loudest track in the world. Okay, Ashes in the Wind, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna tell you how I did Ashes in the Wind. I did the main melody that you hear all the track long. It is actually a modular jam for over 15 minutes. So for over 15 minutes, I recorded on my modular synthesizer filters, chords changing. I recorded as a one long audio file, and from that one long audio file, I edited and made a track around that. So it sounds like that. Okay. Here we go. This is, oh, sorry. I'll be back, yeah, I'm here. This was just one long jam on my modular synth. So in my head, I was just picturing kick drums and everything, but I was recording this live with modulation, and of course I know I can edit later. So everything is in one audio file. Bass, synths, yeah, it's just one simple audio file. And as you can see, there's not so many channels. My kick drum, as usual, no change. There's two kick drum actually. One here just for a little click. Okay, so that's for the main melody. Of course, in the track there's some like vocals. Where are they? The vocals? I'd like to see love song, I think. Yeah, maybe this. Would that be this? Yes. So I believe that I did the usual, where is it? The trick that I always do, like Donald Trump. Yeah. Like that. And to have this, of course there's a lot of delay, reverb. Let's see if I can switch off this stuff. Like the delay off. with the pitch bend you can do like, you know, and I did that. Like that. Anyway, so this is the vocals. The piano part. Very simple. Made in Ableton again. Is it clipping the audio on Facebook? Ah, it's possible. Yeah, it's a bit loud. Sorry. So again, since I'm not a keyboard player, I did everything by ears. So that part is by ears. Then editing, a lot of editing. nice, isn't it? Lots of editing here. As you can see, this track has very little channels. And actually, most of my track, they have very little channels. I'm trying to stay away from 30 plus. This one has like 19. That's very little, including groups. So that's, you don't need, like I said, you don't need a lot of channels. And I see some people, they make project with hundreds, 100 channel, because they do left side, right side, layering, mid side, some crazy stuff that it's not necessary. Why would you layer 5,000 things? It's just when you have just normal right sounds at the beginning, you don't need to layer 5,000 things. And most importantly, of course, is having a good ID. When you have a good ID, it's very easy to, to make a good track. So yeah. That's Ashes in the Wind. This was fully made around a modular synthesizer. It was like. And again, on the master channel, there's nothing. This is a free plugin. I just use it as to check if I'm not clipping. Because if I clip, it's not gonna sound good. Then I have this. I put absolutely on every project. It just add more. No preset. Just put it. It just instantly add more warmth, roundness in your sound. Again, a little bit of EQ there and there. And the limiter. That's it. Nothing too crazy. All right, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to read your comments and reply only on comments with my laptop. Okay, question. Yeah, the mic now is much more comfortable. Question from Demo. If I use OTT a lot, I do use OTT, yes. A lot? No. I use OTT, the most basic preset on sounds that actually needs more presence. More presence, more. I need to add more open. It's more open. I don't know what you said. The user OTT is a good idea, not on everything, mostly on synths or vocals, stuff like that. How many years it took to release my first track? What we're talking about 22 years ago, man. It took me about, I don't know, like 6 months. It was shit. How do you approach a remix project? Usually I need to, when I hear the original track that I've been asked to remix, I need to think if I can do something really nice. And then after they send me the parts, and then I choose whatever I want to, and then just like I did with Ashes in the Wind, pretty much, I will build a track around a specific part, and then here's the remix. Quels enceintes, which speakers do I use? Is the Neumann. I forgot the reference. Some of my old track. Is it possible to see some of my old track? Yes, but maybe another time. Crème, maybe another time too for Crème, because that's a lot to cover. What do we have? How did I build my studio? Looks like a spaceshift. Yeah, it does look like a spaceshift.
But I don't know. Over time, I guess it just happened by years. You know, my first studio didn't look like that. I didn't understand why you sent a master track to the mastering engineer for the All Day I Dream EP. We all do send our track to the mastering engineer. Why is because they might have to do mastering differently for vinyls, for example. That's something I cannot do, and so they will do a different mastering for vinyls than digital. And digital I can manage, but vinyl is something very different. How should I take in account to make a homemade mastering? Keep it simple, man. You want to do your mastering, if you don't know what to do and how to do it, just do like me. Simple EQ, one limiter, but make sure your mix is tight. Patrick, hey Patrick, Lost Desert is with us, I didn't even know. Hey Patrick, can you ID the modular? Yeah, I can ID the modular. Well, it's somewhere, like, yeah. Looks like my blurry connection right now. I hope you still can hear me. Where am I? Ooh, so many questions. Any Ableton Groove settings? No. I don't use the Groove. I just use a simple grid and then do a little bit of shuffle or swing, call it whatever you want. Very simple. I mean, like you guessed it, my way of working is extremely simple. I like to keep it like very simple. Do you use packs for movement? I don't know. I don't understand what you mean. If I can sample a woof from Cooking Biscuit, I can do that. Maybe not now. What happened when you had a bad hair day and no mood? Can you keep going? Yeah, I can keep going, man. No problem. The best record I did in my life. It's the one that are never been released. It's just always like that. The one that are coming out next month or in 2 months. I just don't know. They're good. Some are good. Some are amazing. Some are shit. How do you organize your music? I don't organize my music. It's a big mess. Shuffle, swing, placing manually. No, I don't shuffle, swing, but I do quantizing, but I do shift some sounds sometimes to make it a little bit more organic, yes. No, I don't use my MPC anymore. Hey Vincent, how are you? Ça va? How many unreleased fully finished track do I have? Honestly, it's over, I don't know, 200 or 300 easily. But they're not good. They're not all good. Some are amazing, but I just won't release them because although I will have to release like a lot and I don't want to release too much. I just do a selection on how I like my tracks. If I really love them, they might not be the strongest, but what's most important for me is that I really love them. And my next EP on Lost Miracle, which I don't know when that's gonna be, maybe the summer, there is a track that I love so much that will be on it. It's not the strongest track ever, but I love it, so it will be on it. Yes. So many questions, guys. I'm gonna answer like maybe 10 more questions before we stop here because I have to eat and drink. Drink some water. Okay. Can you remix a track of me? No, you cannot. No, you cannot. No. Advice for someone who struggle. Oh, so many questions. Struggle. Where is it? Missed it. Goes too fast. Do you use any FX packs for arrangement? I do use FX packs, yeah, because it's something I could do myself, but to create a white noise or a sweep in and out, you could do it yourself very easy, but it's way faster to use like pre-made FX, yes. definitely. That's actually the main thing I would use from a sample pack is FX. The rest, not so much. Is there any too much trouble tuning your modular? No, it's very easy. By ears again. You use headphone in a studio? No, I don't. No, I cannot make music with headphones, which means I cannot make music on the road. You're sounding pretty good, but you cannot find a label who will listen to. So your track are good, but you don't know where to send it. It's I don't have any tips on that. The market is really busy. It's saturated. There's many people there, and there's many talented people. To get your track signed, send it as much as possible, but never send too many tracks at the same time. Maybe like 3 or 4 tracks maximum, but only your best. And target only the label you really want to work with, or maybe you want to build a relationship with the artist or the head artist. Like me, for example, we can talk. I most of the time I reply on Facebook or Instagram or SoundCloud especially. So this is the best way, but not everybody is like me. So I know it's really tricky. You know, if you want to sign your music, I don't know. It's a tricky one. Yeah, I have to say. I will do. There's a lot of modular question. I will probably do a separate video for modular guys. It's even more complicated than this, to be honest. So it cannot be covered here. Yeah. How many tracks did I, before I start releasing your music, was good enough to release? I started making music 22 years ago, and the music market was totally different, and there was another world. My first release was terrible, absolutely shit. But back then it was not too bad. So, but obviously, the more you go and the technology you used to use, it's just, you know, things are moving. So, I think it took me like 6 months to have something decent to be released back then. But these days, I would never like send any demos like I did back then. Impossible. What happened to sorry. How to sample and choose a kick that works for all tracks? I don't know. Just find one that works for you. One day it will happen. Just like you find the right wife for you, you will find the right kick. That's pretty much it. Yeah, the video will be available to replay. Would I be consider using Ableton for my shows? Not for DJs, but for live, yes. I will do something with Ableton and modular in the future. Yes. Thank you. Well, okay. Well, I think that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much. I hope it was decent and interesting enough for you guys. Sorry, this is not a DJ set. It's more like a technical thing, which might be boring, but for the geeks out there and producer out there, I think I would love to have that from a producer that actually admire their production. I would definitely watch their thing as well. So if some of the guys do that, I'll definitely watch too. And we have a lot of time to watch videos. Thank you very much. I don't know what's going to be the next one. Maybe the next one I'll be a little bit more prepared because this was really improvised, as you can see. But yeah, that was fun. Okay, so where is the ending thing here? I don't even know. Okay, thank you guys. And stay home and stay safe and wear a mask, even though they ask you not to wear a mask. Do wear a fucking mask. Bye.